Oh, you just arrived home?
Yes.
Okay, do you see me?
Yes, I see you.
Okay, great to see you. This is the first time we
And
do have a live meeting because we haven't met each other for a long time. So I
yes.
didn't want to just be very passive person. I just wanted to talk to you face to face.
Okay. Like
And
they say in Arabic, you are brightening. يعني منور.
thank you so much. Is my voice clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, perfect. How's your day? Where did you go today? Like, do you have any kind of emergency or something? God forbid.
Unfortunately, my mom facing recurrence in her situation, so I had to go to her doctor from the early morning
Mhm.
to give him her tests and give an advisement about the treatment that she
Uh-huh.
has
Okay.
to take.
Mhm.
After that, I go to my office and make my routine daily work and return
Okay.
back to house. Before 1 hour, I had to go to do something in the market and
Mhm.
return back to home.
Okay. What kind of challenging things did you face this morning when you started your day?
The crowded,
Uh, what do you mean by the crowded?
the car jam in the streets.
The car jam. Okay.
Yes,
It's the traffic.
yes, a traffic jam.
Is this what you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
It is a hard situation of traffic jam these days. I think this week was very hard.
It is.
Um, s- yes, streets, wallahi, yani, I cannot withstand the situation like this in Baghdad.
I
Baghdad cannot be,
it's intolerable.
yes,
Um,
yes.
Osama,
I,
I mean,
mm,
this is not something positive actually to
mhm,
talk about,
mhm,
but since you brought it up, it's the kind of the elephant in the room that everybody is suffering from, they're
mhm,
struggling with, which is
mhm,
the amount of pressure that you accumulate until you get to the doorstep of your work
mhm,
and
mhm,
you coming back home. This is not
mhm,
something that lots of people actually talk about. But once you
mhm,
start um, your first hour of your day going to work,
mhm,
you receive a tsunami of pressure
mhm,
from everywhere. Like once you
mhm,
step in your car, you drive, you find lots of annoying drivers and
mhm,
you come across lots of checkpoints and
mhm, mhm,
roadblocks and all kind of pressure.
yes.
Yesterday, I don't go to Baghdad that frequently these days because you know you can do some of your work from home and also
Mm,
you save yourself 1 year amount of pressure from just coming to
mhm,
work.
mhm,
And we I was in Rustumia and I got pulled over
mm,
by a checkpoint and they were pointing guns at drivers.
mm,
And this is not civil, like this is not happening in a civilized nation
mm,
where
yes.
people, soldiers, people from your nationality pointing guns in your face. And this is really threatening. And
Mhm,
they blocked the road. And you remember when back in 2003, 4, and
mm,
5, where Americans were driving their
mm,
Humvees and we had
yes.
to drive
I
behind them
remember.
like 50 meters very slowly
Yes.
and they humiliate
Yeah.
people and, they do all kind of dirty stuff. I just kind of like felt we were just going through that kind of same thing. So the
Mm,
Humvees drove us around, well, starting from Diyala Bridge
mhm,
until Bab Sharqi. So all of this
yes.
distance we were driven very slowly
Mhm,
because some Humvees were driving ahead of us and they didn't allow us to pass them.
Mhm.
Simply like, okay, we are all driving, you're not being threatened, we are all civilians, and we're driving on a highway. It's highway. So literally it means you need to drive very fast.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes. You are right. You are right.
it's really pressing on people. And I was the ironic thing that happened to me is that I was listening to a podcast, you know, that kind
Mhm.
of recording where two people talk to each other about something.
Mm.
And I was listening to two people, two doctors. They were talking about the pressure and
Mm.
the side
I
effects
would say that. I would say that. I would say that the pressure and the nervous that we are facing
of
every day.
high pressure,
Yes,
obesity,
yes.
back pain,
Mhm.
the heart attacks, all sort,
Psychological disease. Psychological disease.
psychological, mental health
Yes,
diseases. All
yes,
of that come from traffic. And those
yes.
people were ironically talking, those two doctors were talking
Mhm.
about the side effects of being stuck for a long time
Mhm.
in commute or in travel, like
Yes,
especially if you travel back and forth from work for more than 3 hours per day. It's really killing
I
people.
tested, I really tested that, Walid, when
Mhm.
my working day is of 8 hours, and every day I'm losing
Mhm.
around 3 to 4 hours by the traffic
Yeah.
jam. That lead me to get ulcer, stomach ulcer.
Mhm.
This is because it's
I get
psychological disease.
yeah, I'm the sort of nervous person. I don't know, I can't control it sometimes. Like I'm very calm and timid person, but
Mhm.
when you're like you are being treated like a Pepsi can and you're shaken
Mhm.
most of the time, you
Mhm.
explode.
Yes, of
You kids,
course, of course, of
this is
course.
the normal status of a human being. Like if you do not respond, that means there's something wrong with you. Like you have to respond, you
Mhm.
have to be angry, you have to say something, you have to shout, because otherwise people gonna step on you and then carry on with their life.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So I was like, why is this happening? Like, why is there no control of what's going on? And like, I'm living very far, I mean, distantly speaking, from my work in Baghdad. And I probably,
Mhm.
when we talk, you're lucky to live in Baghdad because you're very close to your work, even if you spend 3 hours
Mhm.
commuting back and forth. I live in the suburbs, and it takes me around 1 hour and a half to get into Baghdad to my
Mhm.
destination, and 1 hour and a half
Mhm.
to get back. So if you multiply 3 hours by 24 days of work, by
Mhm.
12
Mhm.
months, by 10 years, all of that is going to kill the person by the end of his, before his
Yes, yes,
retirement.
of course, of
I truly
course.
believe that people will be hospitalized before they get to the retirement stage
Mm,
if they
mm.
carry on doing that kind of work like every day with the kind of status of
And you know,
cars.
Walid, the reasons of that, I think one of the
Mhm.
reasons is the high population, unplanned high population of Baghdad.
Mhm.
Also, almost of those
Chaotic,
population,
chaotic.
yes, almost of those population, with all my respect for them,
Mhm.
uneducated and careless.
Mhm.
They do not respect the street. They do not commit with the laws of traffic. They do not care anything. So that affect the educated and care
Mhm.
people like us.
Mhm. And that's why a lot, like, I mean, it's really sad thing to say, but on my page, Osama, I have
Yes.
around 250,000 followers, and
Mhm.
I get so many messages every
Mhm.
day from people from all walks of life
Mhm.
asking me how to escape from this country, how to
Ah,
immigrate, how to leave this
yes.
country, how
Yes, 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 yes.
to run away, to find a
Yes.
work, some sort of works in other country. People um, are becoming very desperate, and
Mhm.
oh boy, if people become desperate, this is like
Mhm.
probably the last hay out there.
Mhm.
So I don't know, like if you say something, you will be shut. Uh, and if you stop talking about it, like people will, the whole thing is going, the whole dilemma of what's going on in the country is going to stifle you, to suffocate you. It's really suffocating. And this is not me as a person who's going back and forth every other day to work or to study. I mean, I go to university, I need to check with my professor quite often.
Yes.
And I need to maintain some good relationship with my friends and see them. So if you plan to see a friend for 1 hour, you have to add 2 hours before the 1 hour of meeting or the rendezvous, and 2 hours to get back home. Plus, once you get back home, you're not going to resume your day normally because you're
Of
going to be
course.
completely exhausted, mentally
Yes.
exhausted and physically exhausted.
Yes,
Like
you
I
are
know
right.
now you're coming back to
You're right.
work. Probably you have so much pain in your legs. You need to take a shower and relax. You need to watch some news or read something, educate yourself, progress. All of that is not
Yes.
happening. Like you need, what's going on? So,
Continuous movement, wallahi, continuous
yeah.
movement in your mind and your body.
Definitely. This is probably the middle age crisis of the majority of people in Iraq, and the whole thing. I mean, looking deeper in the horizon of what's going on, it's there's nothing positive looming in the horizon, but people
Mm.
need to stay, sanguine and you know, positive and carry on with their life. I mean, otherwise, you need to always maintain some positivity and optimism. Otherwise, you're just gonna lose
We
it.
are trying to do that, trying to do that, but
Yeah.
the more pressure, the fast explosion.
Well, yeah. I mean, believe it or not, like I've seen this sort of pressure abroad, but in a very systematic and progressive and positive way. Like you feel pressure when you wake
Yeah.
up in the morning because you need to catch up with the professor class, or
Mm.
you need to catch up the 6:01 morning train or
Mhm.
metro. You are under pressure because you need to do two sort of work activities in order to
Mhm.
pay the rent in California or in New
Mhm.
York, and these
Mhm.
one of the fancy places or cities. You need to work on your final paper because you need to submit it in deadline. So the professor grades you and submits your work to be published in one of the books and be given approval and accreditation. So at least people are progressing with that pressure. But here
Mhm.
in this
Mhm.
country, people are maintaining pressure and they're maintaining lifestyle without progressing. So the
Yeah.
question to be posed is, are we progressing or maintaining our status? The answer is we're maintaining our status. There's no progression. There is no positive thing looming in the horizon. Like every day comes, we see more traffic. Every day comes, we see more crazy incidents and things that some
Mm.
sort of not relevant to the modernity or civilization. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I work as a PhD researcher, and
Mhm.
yesterday when a soldier points his gun on my face, like,
Mm.
what do we expect? Like, why do you, just because I needed to pass the Humvee to get to my work, submit my research, and come back home safely? And I mean,
Mhm.
is this supposed to happen? Like, why? That's the question.
Mhm.
Probably I sidetracked you from talking about our major topic of discussion for tonight, but
Mhm.
I'll be
No,
very short,
don't worry.
and I'm not going to take much of your time. I know that you're exhausted, probably tired, and
No, don't worry, Walid.
uh, no, I'm not worried. um, the only thing that worries me is your essay writing. Okay, so
What's
I
your
read.
point of view about my, am I progress?
Okay, well, you're progressing. You're definitely progressing. There's just minor
Alhamdulillah.
tweaks out there that I just want you to bear in mind and to discuss. And that's all. I'm not going to take much of your time. I need to have you spend some quality time with your family since you just came back late. And this is going to go like a breeze مثل ما نقول بالإنجليزي, to go like a breeze,
Yes.
يعني يمشي مثل النسيم.
Yes.
So some people consider that the free community service. By the way, I'm reading the first essay that you wrote to me. I copied it from the Word document that you sent me, and I pasted in Google Documents because I want both of us to be on the same page.
Okay. Let me just open. Would you like to send it to me, please, Walid?
The link? Yeah, for sure.
Yes, please.
I'll send it to
see
you via.
just to see you are highlighted on the words.
I have not highlighted nothing.
Okay. I will open my Word document.
No, just open this link because I want you to be on the same page with me here. This is the link. I'm sending it to you. Do you see it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
This is another pressure of our life, the internet, the turtle speed of the internet.
Well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it, sir.
Thank you, Walid.
Okay, so once you open that thing, that essay, a few key highlights that, let me just say. It's the bottom of the page, so you have to scroll down to the bottom of the page.
I'm just waiting. There's
Sure.
document to be opened. Yes, it's opened now. Let me go to the. Some people believe that parents. No, not this one. Some people believe.
I'm saying, come here, Osama. Do you see it?
Well, not see that. Consider the community services. Yes.
Okay. Do you see? Okay. Yeah. Perfect. That's
It is
perfect.
task 6, right?
That's task 6. Okay. So
yes.
I want just tell me. By the way, this is just for your information. This is something that we routinely do, which is something we call reflective writing. And this is something that my professors used to do with me. Like when I write something, they just sit with me and they discuss with me what I wrote. It's a sort of defense. Now, what we talked about previously was related to how you build a foundation basis for your academic writing.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, clear.
Now, what happens here is you're writing an introduction. So I just, not to say it's bad, not to say it's perfect or professional. I just want you to kindly walk me through what you wrote in the introduction. Because introduction carries probably the most significant, vital part of the essay. If I get a positive impression about the introduction, okay, I'll be happy. If I, as an evaluator of IELTS, do not get a positive impression, I'm going to mark you down on the scale of 9 to 6.5, which is not something that you like. So the point to be made clearly here is that just tell me what you wrote, and I will be very happy to give you some feedback later on to do the correction. And I will remind you about one last thing. Writing is a process. It's a process of writing, drafting, writing, editing, proofreading, اللي هو تشيك كلمات والأخطاء إذا أكو, and rewriting. You see? So you see edition 1 of the book, edition 2, edition 3, because people and authors are constantly revising and changing their thoughts. And maybe
mhm,
whatever they wrote 10 years later, with the alternation of experiences and the accumulation of wide spectrum of chances to see and explore new perspectives in life, they
mhm,
change their mind.
mhm,
So it's very okay to change and rephrase. But since we have a siege of 40 minutes, we just
mhm,
need to write down a structure and
mhm,
build a content that is within the territory of that structure that serves the purpose of task achievement, cohesion and coherence, lexical
yes.
diversity, grammatical range, and accuracy. These are the four
Mhm,
major elements that will be evaluated accordingly.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
floor is
Yes.
yours.
Yes. In the introduction, I tried to rephrase the topic address and give my point of view about the topic that we are talking about. So I started by some people consider that the free community services in the topic, they use the unpaid, I use the free as a
Mm-hmm,
synonym,
mm-hmm,
such as the cleaning of neighborhood, charity organization, volunteer campaigns, or imparting the knowledge to the underprivileged.
mm-hmm,
I gave examples about the unpaid or free community services have to
mm-hmm.
be mandatory in high school, and gave my
Mandatory,
point. Yes,
mandatory,
mandatory. Yes.
mandatory.
Also,
Okay.
yes, I use this mandatory instead of compulsory
Mm-hmm,
as a synonym.
mm-hmm,
And lastly, or finally, I gave my point of view that I strongly agree because the topic asked me if I agree or disagree. So I agree with this concept, and
mm-hmm,
started after that to give my defense why I agree to make
mm-hmm,
it compulsory in the syllabus of the high school.
mm-hmm.
So I started by firstly, secondly, and I think after that I gave my conclusion of this topic. So if you want me to start with firstly,
Mm-hmm.
do you hear me,
Please,
Walid?
please go ahead. Yes.
Yes. Firstly, I said that the community services
Mm-hmm,
inculcates the responsibility towards the society.
mm-hmm,
And for example, to explain more and more about this sentence, I gave example that the cleaning of surroundings, I didn't say it like the introduction that the neighborhood, but I said the surroundings to
mm-hmm.
make some change
Is
and to
this
be
part of the
not,
paraphrasing process?
I think that,
Okay.
and to not make myself or my writing just repeated and repeated.
Mm-hmm,
So the cleaning of the surroundings make the student never litter wherever he is going.
mm-hmm,
And secondly, I said that the community services cater some empathy feelings, a group of people which contributes. I use contributes instead of take part or participate to an increasing community cohesion. And also give an example when teaching the poor children far away, it will increase the empathy between the people inside the one society.
mm-hmm,
Um, Now I started to talk about the disadvantage of the charity or unpaid community services, but in a way that I have to say that it is less than the advantage. But we cannot deny that some students misuse the time allocated for social services and regarding it as a chance to have a funny time to
mm-hmm,
spend with friends rather than to learn something precious.
mm-hmm,
And also, we cannot forget that some students have no leisure time for doing the activity rather than the study.
mm-hmm,
Moreover, there are some social activities that have to be done in far away or
mm-hmm,
mountainous places. Therefore, it will be not suitable for unhealthy students or girl.
mm-hmm,
So lastly, in conclusion, I said that although the voluntary use this word instead of unpaid, free, and also the yes, and unpaid and free. The voluntary services system has its drawbacks, which I talk about it in the last paragraph, but it is still useful in increasing the binds. This binds instead of the empathy between the people inside one society. It's increasing the binds between the society individuals and in shaping their characters. Therefore, in my opinion, the free community services must be involuntary, which is instead of compulsory, and the mandatory, the involuntary in the high school syllabus.
Okay, perfect. Now, so far, you've done a great and terrific job, actually, and I would definitely give you 7.5 for task completion.
Oh, that's so kind of you,
for
Waleed.
task completion.
Yes.
Wait,
Okay.
for task
Okay.
completion.
Okay.
But there are other items that well, cohesion and coherence. Let's talk a little bit about it here. We have lexical diversity and we have grammar.
Okay, I'm so interested to hear you.
Okay, so far for task completion, you have done a great job, and you started the narrative very clearly. You mentioned your statement here. So if we trace back the beginning, it says, "I strongly agree with this view." But there's some punctuation issues. When you say, "I strongly agree with this issue," I strongly agree with this view. It will not help to make the students socially responsible adults. But so this is some grammar points that need to be highlighted for grammar. So adults, do you see it?
Yes, I see it.
Do you see the one that I'm underlying? Adults.
Yes.
Avoid using also, because it's a spoken, and you can add, for example, additionally, will take part, will contribute. So instead of taking part, you can say contribute, because taking part is
not officially word.
Take part. Think about it. It's short. It's less academic, and to some extent, it's. I mean, when we are taking IELTS test, what we're doing simply, we are showing off our skills in grammar, and our skills with vocabulary, and our skills with certain topics that are related to writing.
Sometimes I identify the synonym just one or two words, so I'm trying to change the main one.
Totally understood.
Yeah.
Totally understood. Yeah. I'm just saying that since we have a sort of training ground here, we are not obligated to be restricted to one particular sort of word, but we can explore, because that's going to give you a better chance to realize what you can write and what you should focus more on. So here, these are a few things that you should emphasize in the beginning. I usually emphasize and stress out the importance of the introduction, because simply it gives far more impression on on the evaluators when they evaluate your paper or your.
What do you think about? Sorry, but what do you think about using curriculum instead of programs? Is this good?
It's. Say it again.
What do you think about using this word, curriculum, instead of programs, high school programs? I used high school curriculum.
It's good if you know the correct spelling of this word.
Yes.
So it's more about spelling. And I sometimes face an issue with like remembering how certain words are written. So if I am not 100% sure about how they are written, I just use an alternative word or a closer word. You see, because it's far more safer. So some people consider that first paragraph. I'm reading the first paragraph here. Some people consider that free community service, such as the cleaning of the neighborhood, clarity of and volunteer, or imparting the knowledge to unprivileged, have to be mandatory in the high school curriculum. You see, here what we have here is a very challenging long sentence, Osama. This is like when we talk about sentences in English, we're talking about a word. You see that we're talking about a sentence that has one subject or maximum 3 subjects or 4 in extreme cases, but not such a long sentence. And this is something that you've been struggling with for the past few weeks, but it's okay. It's solvable. We just need to cut this intro shorter into 3 or 4 sentences. So just what I'm going to give to you here is some comment.
Where can I stop in this sentence, Walid, because it is related with each other. The words in this sentence is related and complete each other.
No, they're not related. They're not. Say here, some people consider that free community service, such as cleaning of the neighborhood, charity, volunteer campaigns, have to be mandatory. Point. And then you need to rephrase this. Oh, mandatory in curriculum. You need to rephrase this and make it shorter. Or some people consider free community service mandatory. Point. Free community service such as 1, 2, and 3 can be mandatory or obligatory in certain scenarios.
I got
and
that.
then I like this. I like this so much here. I like it because it's I like this. It is a true statement. And then firstly, the community. So you don't need to use the. You don't need to use that. It's community services inculcates the responsibility towards the society. I love it. It's very short, clear, to the point. For example, cleaning the surroundings. Here, the word make is word choice. So we call it word. So word choice. You just need to change this into another word. But I want you to explore what you're going to write. Secondly, the community services cater for, you can write here, cater for. Do you see my feedback or not?
Yes, I'm seeing that.
Feelings, cater for some empathy feelings, a group of people. This is something we call in English awkward sentence because it's not correctly phrased. So awkward. What I will say is rephrase.
I think I forget to write down 4 after feelings. Okay,
Here,
there's some empathy feelings for a group of people.
Well, here, link this paragraph to the previous one to make it look smoother, like the transition. يعني من نقصد smoother يعني أكو انتقالة logical. For example, furthermore, you can write furthermore, additionally, moreover.
Yes.
Okay. Also remember that this is moreover. See here, this is relatively longer sentence. There are some social activities. Now, when you say there are some social activities, and then the next paragraph is conclusion, I would say you still have some more to talk about, because when you say there are more social activities, you just need to name 2, 3, 4, whatever. You just need to add more text. Okay, so
But
you
don't you
see.
think the main thing that I'm talking about in this sentence is the activities that can be due in the far away, not the activities itself. I'm
Just
just talking.
exactly say that again in your own words. Just rephrase them.
Okay.
And how you can
Okay.
do it, you can do it in your own way by just talking verbalize out loud with you, with yourself.
Okay.
And in conclusion, although the voluntary services system has its drawback, but it is still useful. Change the word useful to more academic words. Just it's okay, it works, but just change it. Valuable. Okay, perfect. And increasing the bonds, not binds. Maybe bonds or bonding.
الترابط أم الروابط. I think I meant
between the
binds.
society individuals, you have to say among society.
Among, because there are more than two. Yes.
So we have
Yes,
some grammar accuracy issue here, grammar and accuracy, because those IELTS evaluators fish for this kind of things. Just change this and you're good to go.
Okay.
Okay, so this is our final score for this essay. In our next meeting, we'll discuss the next one.
Okay.
But
the next task, you mean?
The next task, but we'll just go through this when we begin the meeting. We finalize, I just give you a different score based on the changes that you make, and then we transition to the next one.
Okay, Walid,
Okay, Osama, thank you so much for this lovely meeting.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Very much.
Enjoy your valuable time with your family, and looking forward to see you soon, inshallah.
Thank you very much to you. Thank you.
Have a lovely night. Bye-bye.
Thank you, for you too. مع السلامة.